Yeah. But now I'm all fresh and so clean. Okay, mapunta sa slap apas. Oh, ita. Are you on the game? Yeah. Alright. Yeah, tomorrow, Nick, if you're down after your golf, I'm gonna do some high round, like I'm gonna use everything I have. Because it's resetting in a few days, and like I'm probably gonna play Wukong for the few days left before he restarts, so I figured tomorrow's a good day to just like start the day, you know, 1 or 2 match normal, and then put on the big gear and go for it. Because I have like 16K, and like, you know. Alright, I'll quick start match and I'm gonna go get my water. You ready? Okay, I'm just gonna go get my water. Alright, Nick, you ready? Ready, Nick? I need to knock out 11 opponents. Use a meat-eating animal. The plant-eating animal. Gonna eat. It was long, sucky, with a lot of zeros during the day, but we got through it. Now take everything I just said and put it out of context in your head. Damn, it's taking long for matchmaking. We're too good, Nick. Our MMR is too high. What's your level? Bottom. 42, baby. Oh damn, yo, I gotta reboot stream, bro. This shit is absolute lagging in the okay. Be right back. A little messed up. No. It's looking better so far. Alright, well. Gonna hope for the best. Yeah, I had to go down for a second. Yeah, I don't know why my OBS was self-crashing. The shark? Then I'm gonna be a flathead shark. Wait. Alright, shark gang, Nick. There's another imposter shark, but he doesn't have the outfit, so we know. Oh shit. Nick, is that you? Damn, that guy messed me up. It's okay, I'm good. Uh-oh. Oh, get up, get up. Yeah, I'll take the other one. Oh, I got a banana. Oh, Nate, that's me, you shit! You killed me. You absolute shit. I had a friend named Nikolai. He killed me. I think they both have, yeah, they both have bomb protection, so they're both idiots. Not over yet. It just went down. Yeah, my banana. The bombs do nothing to them. Yeah, it bounced on top of his head, the pineapple. Let's go, Nick. How come you have the watermelon, by the way? How'd you get the watermelon? Oh, you gotta switch it. Where? Yeah. Okay. I'll encrypt that in my mind. Yeah. It's good only if you die. It's only good if you die, and the plan is not to die. Especially in this map, it's not very good. Yeah, more. I wonder what like the gold edition of that is. Like, is it like 50% off? That's what I mean. Like, bananas are free. That's me. Holy fuck. I got the chain, baby. I killed him, Nick, the fake. I killed the fake. Okay. Hey, come here. Grab on. Yeah, we're good. Oh, what the fuck? Fuck you. What? How my fish not do nothing? Oh yeah. Yeah, I see it. Both died. Johnny. And MG Vision. Yeah, Nick. Oh no, this fucker fucking knocked the shit out of me. Think my floater ain't working. I got on. We're here. I'm going on top. I don't give a fuck. Oh, never mind. There's a ball. Now I'm going on top. Hey, what's up, homie? I'm gonna stay in the hole. With my floater. Dying over there. You're too fast. Yeah, die, stupid monkey. Oh my lord. Where's my guy turned around? Oh no, oh no, no, get out, get out! No, this stupid monkey! Oh no, I know what to do. Damn it. I couldn't do it. Okay, Nick. What does it do? You can have more gold and it'll be like 2 gold for a bomb. Oh my lord, bro, Nick, we both got destroyed there. Good, kill him. Yo, bro, I destroyed the guy with the nunchuck. Fuck yeah. Is that the Indiana Jones airplane? Is that an actual reference? But me and Eric use a slam attack. Fuck yeah. It's the ice map, that shit's pretty good. What's the rest? Is everything at one point? The fuck? That's kind of fucking cool. That'd be an insane combo with super bomb. You just kill yourself at the beginning, you know, like teammate, get the anti-bomb, right? And then I think that, yeah, I know. Wow. I got shit me. I got shit. Bro, I can't see shit now. Oh my lord. Yeah, of course you get me. Yeah. Fucking hell, Nick. No fucking shot, bro! It fucking fell under my foot! No! It broke under my feet! Yo, that was fucked up. Oh, I can't believe you did that to me, Nick. Oh, sorry, yeah, that was me. I know. Oh, what the fuck, bro? Nick, why you always boomerang, man? Shut the fuck up. You're banned from using boomerangs. Bro, I'm telling him I got the same thing. Get the fuck up. Oh my lord. Oh, Nick. You fucking hit me! Bro, you son of a mother. Uh-oh. Fuck me, bro. This guy's bomb immunity, Nick. You can't throw bombs right now. Oh. I know, but I had hope. Yo, where the fuck? Where did my fish go? I threw it, I swear. Nick. God damn it, I got knocked right at the end. Hey, I got a coin. I'm gonna go spin the wheel of fortune. Are you ready to gamble, Nick? What do we get? Another fucking gray one. It's an otter. Yeah, I already have it. Very much. Yep, no, it was really bad. Increased resistance is probably the better one. Yeah, it's just now you can grab bombs and just go into people's face and you don't die no matter what. What? I'm gonna be... a croc. Oh, I have too many skins. I'm just going through everything like, I just got shoveled, bro. This fucker, bro. Holy shit. Oh my god, bro. She got destroyed by the shovel mans. I hate this map. Yes, whoever blew him up, that was a good trick. That's not that the edit. Face off, Nick. Let's go! I am an imposter. I'm an imposter. They see me as them. That's where I get beat up all the time. The Peter Bridge. I think that's me. I'm taking my revenge on the guy from earlier. Right here, I knocked him out, the blue guy. I keep knocking him out. Oh, he finally took it from me. This son of a bitch. Oh my god, stop knocking me out. It's me, the big winner! Light punch has a chance to crit, so now my light and my heavy can crit. Let's go. Exactly. It's me. Yeah, I see you on the edge there. Kill him! Good job. Oh, what the fuck, bro? You just turned around and fucked me up. No! How the fuck did you get me so far? Right. Did you die? Not bad. Heavy punch has a high chance of dealing crit. When I knock people with a heavy, they're gonna go. No! Oh, that's an imposter. That's not you. Oh, what? I hate this game too. That's not me. Oh, okay. An imposter. This fuck, yes, Nick, did you hit him? Oh. Whoever this guy was, he saved my life. Yeah, well, I mean... Damn. It was scary. I tried to get a bomb, almost jumped off. This fucker. Get up! Yo, bro, get up. My win, motherfuckers! Okay. Yeah. Fine. If you was more than one and you did two. Holy shit! What the fuck was that? What the actual fuck was that? Let's go in there. Oh no, Nick, you're a robot. You don't. Oh my god, that guy got yeeted like me. These bastard, we got second place. Yeah, they sucked. I like this picture a lot. Huh? Go poo. Go poo. We'll play in the one after. And then we're playing another one. I'm the king. I'm the king, Nick. I mean, if you're doing that, then I have no choice. Oh, what? It stopped. Okay, well, it stopped. Okay. It's not that bad. You killed that guy with a fucking balloon, Nick. That was me. Sorry, that was you. Yo, this like jelly bear looking skin is awesome. But you have to die for it. Yo, I threw him to the side. Let's go, Nick. Oh, fuck. Yo, we gotta get rid of this man. Ah! I got rid of the balloon. Get up, Nick. That's me. Oh, we got him, Nick. Oh no. Okay, you threw one. I'm gonna keep this one with me. It's fine. You're fine. I took him, bro, and I yeeted off. Wide awake, I'm not likely to be knocked out. There's an imposter among us. My fucking seat. Yeah, Nick, you're great. Come with me. Nick, I might die here. No, I made it. That's me. It's okay, you scared me. I was like, that's me, bro. That's me. I got a bomb. No, get up. Get up, bitch. I'm still alive. Oh, you drop kicking me, bro? That was dumb. At least the other one died too, I guess. Oh my god, yo, for real? Bro, je ramasse une shovel, je me fais knocker comme en 2 secondes. Holy fuck you. Okay, well, fuck me, I guess. Oh, what the fuck? Nick, you're going down! Ow! Let's go to the top! I'm coming back up, baby! Yo, bro, I can't stop getting knocked out. Holy shit. What the fuck? Survive, Nikolai. The mosh pit up in here. Oh no, I'm floating away. That's bad, that's bad. No! Grab onto the enemy! No! I'm sinking, Nick. I'm sinking. I'm sinking. Nikolai, we're on. Is there a big bomb? Why is there a big bomb? Uh-oh. Oh no! This game's trash, man. It's pretty good though. Yeah, somebody got touched with my fish. Okay. I got the bigger bombs too, Nick. Fuck you. I'm dead. The monkey killed me, Nick. Get my revenge. You also die? No, you're alive. That's you. I throw a big bomb. Yeah, I'm dead. No, I'm dead. What do you mean? Yes, of course, I'm playing with you. I just died. The fuck? That's weird. Maybe I had like some kind of weird lag spike. No, be cool if you had a reroll like once per game for the powers. So Nick, let me tell you what happened yesterday, okay, with to my vape. I was sleeping, well, I was falling asleep, and it was beside me, and I forgot, and I went to go pee, so I yeeted it out of bed. It hit the floor, and it started doing psss. I was like, fuck is that? I put it in my sink, and I was like, if you're gonna blow up, you're gonna blow up here. You know? And then it just stopped hissing. And like it did a weird code. It did like E3 and then it went back to normal. Me neither, I don't know, bro. I felt like there were some weird things going on there. Oh my lord. Oh yeah, let's go. You wanna bring it on? Bring it on? Bitch. Bro, just grab the fucking hammer. I'm defending Nick the shovel. Come and get it. Okay, go, go, go. I fucking knocked him into you. Watch out. I'll let you go in. Oh, Nick. Bro, I tried to keep you at distance for a fucking reason. You killed me. And like I told you I was gonna swing him towards you. You shit. You little shit. I would have took the shovel and I knew you'd kill me. No, that's my bomb, bro. But that's not very, not very good now, is it? I thought I killed you. Well, yeah, because this time I was trying to be like communicating to like see if like you know like we could just wipe everyone with those things. But you fucking tipped me with the tip of it. Still early. What time is golf tomorrow, Nick? 30. Damn. No, we could do. We could play chivalry. Alright, alright. Oh yeah, can you tell me which dealership Moflet works at? No? Did you ask him? Because my mom, did I tell you her brake line basically were fucked because of the rust under her car? So she has to find a new one. Like she's shopping right now to consider cars. Bang, from usager to new there. So that's why she was like, if you know somebody that's in there, right, and that, you know, I know Mof is a good salesman, but he also knows his shit. So yeah, I figured if at least I knew where he worked, I could tell her, go see and ask this guy. You want to text him, ask, and text him tomorrow, and I'll try to send her his way. Yeah, Alex. I was there for that. You know what's funny? Starting now, right? Alex can be a dad at any moment, right? Do we have to assume that every day we don't hear from him, it might be because he becomes a bad? Only. Yo, I yoinked that so hard from him. Ugh. I sweet Nick. I made the other team quit. Rocket League. Alex confirmed, not a dad yet. Almost. What the hell happened here? I wish I would know why my tornado didn't do shit. Fuck me. God damn it. Get me out of this. Look at this guy. Why did you change your name? Oh yeah, you just call it a cheap trumpet. I mean a cheap tuba. New picture.
We'll take these cities on.
Yeah, facts.
Right here we could free our
No, it's fine. But I was like, who the fuck is this dude? And I look at my thing and I was like, wait, the rootiness, tootiness. I know that guy.
Let's run away together. Just lead me into your world. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away when no one knows. Let's run away together on our own. Just lead me into your world.
That's probably a Nikolai thing. I don't know if I can do it. I could probably do it. Wait. I wonder if I can do it now. Have to be server. Here. What the fuck is this? As a mod view, you have the option of copy ID. That's weird. Me neither. I don't want to click that button, by the way. Well, I was just looking quickly. I go to. No, it's not something I can do. It's anoter. I've been talking to them.
All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Follow the light of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me.
Yo, Matt, I found a manga. Pretty fucking sick. It's like Alien from the perspective of the alien. Yeah, and of course, because it's a manga though, they're putting the like typical, like, it was a human person playing too much of those video games about aliens and like became one of them. So he has that like human mentality reflection, right? As he's losing his humanity, of course, and becoming the monster. The name, well, there's definitely a name. Well, I became an evolving space monster. Yeah, some titles are fucking wordy. But you have to also understand those are translated, right? Titled, so. No, that was English, to English. Unless I read it, translated it, and then retranslated it back. I do both. You see, I think I do both. It all depends on like the moment and whatnot, right? Sometimes it's naturally one or the other. It's the perfect timing wisdom. The brain just doesn't know. It just knows both. Yeah, he left and he's never coming back now. Bro, what have you done to Nicole? No, I'm kidding.
By the shore, I'm holding on, diving into my emotions. Hear me cry, tears are falling from the sky. Don't give in, sometime we'll get up and fly. The waves come crashing down, stand up, don't fall and drown. There's nothing that I want more than for you to catch me by the shore.
Holy shit, okay. Oh, fuck. He boosted me at the right time, this fucker. Oh, fuck. Doing a bed soon for golf? Mediocre. But you know, I'm alive, so I consider this a win. I said I'm alive, so I consider that a win. So what I could have been? You never know. No, I missed. Oh. good with it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do like yesterday. I'm gonna watch some movie recaps. This guy is pumping them out, though.
Hi, Mystery Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain a post-apocalyptic sci-fi show called Extinct. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The show begins in a vast desert with a masked man standing by a large lake. Moments later, he witnesses a strange red drone crash into the water. He tries to follow the drone, but it suddenly emits blue, sparkling substances. These sparks spread in the water and eventually form the shape of a man. It turns out this man's name is Ezra, and he begins to have visions of his life. He remembers marrying his wife Lynn and having a daughter with her. He also recalls the alien invasion and how it destroyed the entire human race. Just then, Ezra awakens and is surprised to find himself in the water. He quickly swims to the shore and gets confused by his surroundings. He then attempts to flee from the drone, but it shoots a dart at him. The drone asks him several questions about his family and finally confirms his identity. Moments later, another man and a woman suddenly appear at the lake. Ezra helps them get to the shore and they are equally confused. The woman introduces herself as Fina, while the man introduces himself as Abram. The red drone also approaches them and checks their vital signs before confirming their identities. None of them understand where they are or how they got here. They look around and find the wreckage of an alien warship that attacked Earth 3 years ago. Surprisingly, the vehicle's parts have decomposed, a process that typically takes centuries. Furthermore, Abram is surprised to find himself much younger and reveals that he is actually 67 years old. The red drone then explains that they are resurrected during their prime years. It reveals that the alien invasion occurred 400 years ago, causing the extinction of the human race. They all died at the time, but they have been revived due to the blue substance in the water, known as sparks. It turns out the trio now has a mission to revive the human species. The drone also explains that their genes have been altered to make them adaptable to this era. During this time, the masked man in the distance keeps a constant eye on them. The drone then offers to take the trio to a settlement where they can find others like themselves. It also instructs Ezra to gather the sparks in a container, which he successfully does. Following this, they begin to proceed forward and soon arrive in front of massive metal rings. Abram rushes to the rings with excitement, but receives a powerful shock instead. That's what happens when you act like Sonic. Just then, the mysterious person launches an attack on them, hitting Abram with a dart. He also shuts down the red drone, but Ezra manages to fight the man and restrains him. It turns out the man's name is Jax, and he has a glowing parasite on the back of his neck. This thing is called a companion, and those who have it are called skin riders. Okay. The trio questions him about his motives, and Jax reveals that he wants the sparks. He also claims the drone is deceiving them and there is no settlement. The trio doesn't trust him and ties him up with a rope before abandoning him. As a last resort, Jax claims to know Ezra's brother, but Ezra doesn't believe him and departs. Shortly after they leave, Jax is rescued by other skin riders, including their leader, Silas. Jax then uses his companion to show him a vision of the trio who tied him up.
Yeah,
Silas
there's
is
actually
shocked
right
to see
beside
his
my
brother
ear, so-
Ezra and becomes determined to find him. On the other hand, the
Yeah,
trio
no,
realizes that it's going to
I'm
get
just like,
dark
why?
soon, so they seek
yeah.
shelter in a cave. But Abram suddenly becomes
Just open
ill,
back,
and they
push mic
suspect
to the
Jax
ear
infected him
equals
with
you hear
something
it.
harmful. Ezra and Fina feel helpless without the drone and don't know how to help him. With no other choice, they decide to take a risk and bring him to a small swamp where they release the spark on him. Surprisingly, it works, and Abram heals quickly as if he had never been sick at all. Such is the power of Shrek. The next morning, the trio continues their journey to find the settlement. They soon arrive in a forest where several skin riders appear and begin attacking them. Alarmed, Ezra orders his companions to leave while he deals with them. He then begins fighting the skin riders alone with condoms until he recognizes Silas among them. Ezra is shocked to see him and calls him brother. However, Jax tells him that Silas is their brother now. Meanwhile, just as Abram and Fina manage to reach the settlement walls, they are attacked by the skin riders again. It seems like everything is over for them, but luckily, a yellow drone arrives and subdues the attackers. On the other hand, Ezra is captured by Silas and his companions, who try to convert him into a skin rider.
Please no! Anything but that!
But the heroic yellow drone once again shows up and carries Ezra away from there. Following this, the trio enters the settlement, which is fortified by tall walls to prevent the skin riders from breaching. However, to their surprise, the place is deserted and no humans are present. When they inquire about other people, the yellow drone displays rows of graves where previous settlers are buried. Seeing this, they feel deceived, and Ezra starts banging on the settlement door to get out, but the yellow drone calms him down and takes him inside a military base. There, it explains that the previous settlers were killed by a novel virus that still exists in the area. At this moment, Fina suddenly begins bleeding from her nose, and they realize she has also been infected. The yellow drone reveals that the sparks can make medicine that acts as an antidote. However, to do this, they must travel to a distant lake to gather the necessary raw materials. With no other choice, the two men set off to find the lake, while Fina stays behind. Meanwhile, in the forest, we notice a skin rider named Duncan running frantically. It turns out that his companion has stopped working and is no longer glowing. He is quickly apprehended by the skin riders, and Silas scolds him for not responding to their calls. Just then, they receive an alert that two humans have left the settlement, prompting them to go after them. On their way to the lake, Ezra and Abram question the yellow drone about who controls the entire system. The drone responds that it obeys the sparks commands, but who commands the sparks remains unknown. The two men then begin talking about their personal lives, and Abram reveals that he was a psychiatrist, while Ezra was a soldier. They soon arrive at the lake and release the sparks into the water to begin the process of creating the medicine. While they wait, Ezra opens up to Abram, explaining that one of the Skin Riders is his brother. This revelation implies that the Skin Riders are also human beings, resurrected by the sparks. Ezra then says he wants to persuade his brother to get rid of his companion and join their cause. Back in the settlement, Fina tries to fix the red drone, but she becomes very sick and lies down to rest. Moments later, a blonde woman appears in front of her, which shocks her. We then learn that her name is Lynn, and she is Ezra's wife. However, she is not a real person, but rather a holographic AI projection sent by the red drone to help her. She does her best to help Fina, but the latter shows no signs of improvement. So, Lynn suggests to the drone that maybe Fina should see someone close to her. At this point, a projection of Duncan appears, making Fina very pleased. We then learn that they were lovers during their lifetime. Returning to the lake, Ezra and Abram are warned by the yellow drone that the Skin Riders are approaching them. It suggests to the men that they should run away while the sparks hide themselves in the water. The men then separate, but unfortunately, Ezra is captured by Silas and knocked out. In the evening, he wakes up and finds his brother in front of him. He asks Silas what he is doing here and inquires about the parasite on his neck. The latter explains about the companion and how it influences their behavior. He says that it helps him to be better and avoid being a screw-up like he was during his lifetime. Ezra responds that he was never a screw-up and that he just made some bad choices. He urges his brother to get rid of the companion and be human like them. At this moment, Silas's companion suddenly begins to weaken and he falls asleep. Ezra takes advantage of this and flees to the lake where he meets Abram. They collect the sparks along with the medicine and some seaweed for food. They then rush back to the settlement to administer the medicine to Fina, who has lost consciousness. Fortunately, the medication works and she gradually begins to recover. The next day, the yellow drone leads Abram to a room with a massive metallic obelisk standing. He immediately calls his friends and shows them his discovery. The obelisk is covered in symbols and marks that the trio does not recognize. After staring at it for a while, Abram suddenly learns to read hieroglyphs and realizes that the unknown host has directed them to unearth a powerful weapon hidden in the forest. Although Ezra is skeptical, the others persuade him to trust the obelisk for their survival. So, he equips himself with a bow and arrows and sets out with the yellow drone in search of this weapon. Meanwhile, in the forest, Silas tells Duncan about his companion's purpose and importance, but Duncan doesn't seem interested and claims that the companion is messing with his brain and that he doesn't want to be a servant. Silas asserts that they are not servants and leads him outside, where Jax is fighting another Skin Rider. He urges Duncan to fight Jax and demonstrate his strength. Soon, the two men begin fighting, and to everyone's surprise, Duncan easily wins. This is unexpected because Jax is known as the best fighter in their community. Silas then leads them inside and explains that normal humans have an advantage in combat over Skin Riders. It has just been confirmed because Duncan's companion is not functioning properly. It turns out that the companion causes delays in sending messages from the brain to the body, which is a disadvantage for them. He proposes a solution that involves neurological surgery, but it requires a working drone and a human test subject. So, Silas suggests attacking the trio hiding behind the settlement walls. Meanwhile, at the settlement, Fina talks more with Lynn's projection and discovers that she is Ezra's wife. She also confides in Lynn about her relationship with Duncan and expresses her desire to see him. In the end, Fina fixes the red drone and asks it to resurrect Duncan, unaware that he has already become a Skin Rider. Afterwards, Silas gives Duncan some of the sparks mixed with water to fix his companion. He explains that the sparks have a natural ability to heal any fully formed living organism. This is why the sparks destroyed Abram's companion earlier, as it was not fully formed. Duncan refuses, saying that it is better to die than to be a slave, but Silas and the others force him to drink the water. In another scene, we see Ezra in the forest, excavating the weapon while being guided by the yellow drone. When he asks what kind of weapon it is, the drone reveals that it is a powerful device designed to eliminate Skin Riders. He feels a pang of fear upon hearing this, because he doesn't want to hurt his brother. Shortly after, Ezra finally finds the strange weapon and prepares to leave, but just then, several Skin Riders appear out of nowhere and surround him. Jax grabs the weapon from him and begins to examine it. Surprisingly, the weapon hurts him and quickly knocks him out. In a matter of seconds, it ends up hurting every other Skin Rider present there. Ezra takes advantage of the situation and runs away with the weapon. In the next scene, he returns to the settlement and shows the weapon to his companions. They then bring it to the obelisk, who explains that they must use it to eliminate all the Skin Riders and restore humanity. The other two agree with this, but Ezra is hesitant since Silas is a Skin Rider as well. He doesn't want to attack them without reason, although his friends try to explain that it's humans versus Skin Riders now. At this moment, Lynn suddenly appears and disappears a few seconds later, which shocks Ezra. Fina then explains that she is not real and just a hologram. However, the obelisk promises to resurrect Ezra's wife and daughter if he agrees to the mission. This puts our hero in a difficult situation because he is desperate to reunite with his family. After much deliberation, he finally agrees to wage war against the Skin Riders, led by his brother. Subscribe for more videos.
Sucks.
Hi, Mystery Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain an action sci-fi movie called Reign of Fire. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie opens in central London as a young kid named Quinn makes his way to a construction site after school hours. Following a bit of banter with one of the workers, Quinn gets into an elevator that takes him to the lowest level of a deep excavation hole. He has traveled all the way to see his mother, Karen, who is a supervisor at the construction site. It is revealed that Quinn had lost a 3,000 quid per year scholarship from his school, a sum that they can barely afford. Suddenly, one of the workers takes Karen away because the drilling work is experiencing an unexpected halt. The young kid then wanders around the site and stumbles upon a miner who is having a look at a cave. He curses Karen for her apparent ineptitude, unaware that her son is behind him. This expectedly offends Quinn and he insults the miner, and in return, the latter dares him to enter the cave. Without any hesitation, Quinn goes in with a torch. Inside, he is left speechless, as the surface of the cave walls appears to be similar to that of an animal hide. As he touches the walls, a ball of fire drops near his legs out of nowhere. Quinn slowly turns his torch towards the cave's roof, only to be met by a hair-raising sight. A dragon is perched, ready to pounce on him. The walls he had touched seconds ago were simply the scales of the dragon, asleep in this cave. Suddenly, the dragon spits a thick liquid on Quinn's face, temporarily blinding him, but the kid finds his footing and quickly runs back outside. Karen, seeing her son's bloodshot eyes, immediately washes his face with water. Everyone knows water is the cure for dragon jizz. On the other hand, two other miners go near the mouth of a cave despite Quinn's warnings. In a matter of seconds, a huge wave of fire emerges from the cave, engulfing everything in its path. The mother-son duo manages to get into the elevator, saving them from the fire, but out of the fire emerges a fearsome dragon, which claws at the elevator before escaping to the outside world. In the aftermath of this attack, Quinn fully regains his sight, but Karen, unfortunately, is killed. A voiceover from the now adult Quinn reveals what happened over the next decade. It was the dragons who were responsible for the extinction of dinosaurs and the subsequent Ice Age. Those powerful creatures would wake up from their hibernation and consume every living organism on Earth before returning to sleep. It is a continuous cycle of complete annihilation that keeps repeating. Humans used their advanced missiles to fight back against these beasts, but for every one dragon destroyed, hundreds of others would appear. This led the human population to the brink of extinction. The survivors have fled the major cities and now live in whatever shelters they can find. 20 years later, dragons have greatly diminished in number, and so have their food resources. As a result, the remaining beasts have grown more aggressive in their hunt. Quinn leads a group of survivors who have established an underground refuge beneath an abandoned castle in Northumberland. Those survivors only venture away from their shelter to hunt for food in the fields outside. One day, Quinn finds his friend Eddie and a few others trying to leave their shelter. He strongly advises them against this and emphasizes that outside they will be vulnerable to dragon attacks, but the food supplies have dwindled so low that Eddie argues they'll starve to death if they stay back. Quinn tries to reason that the food shortage won't last long, as the crops will ripen soon, but despite these warnings, Eddie remains determined to search for food, willing to face the risks beyond their shelter. The following day, he and a few others discreetly make their way back towards the fields. The security guard on the watchtower spots several dragons approaching and immediately sends a distress signal throughout the castle. As the leader, Quinn hastily organizes a team to confront the ferocious dragons. He also learns that Eddie and the others are out in the field, so he sets off on a rescue mission. On the field, Eddie's group spots a dragon approaching from a distance distance, it suddenly swoops down and spews balls of fire before they can take cover. This sets the entire plantation on fire, and they quickly realize they're trapped by the flames. But just when it seems they are going to die, Quinn arrives with his men and orders fires to be set all around the field. This is done in a desperate attempt to hide their presence, as the thick smoke clouds the dragon's vision. However, this action also completely destroys their cultivated food supply. Quinn then rushes into the field wearing his protective gear and swiftly guides his people back in his truck. As they drive away, a dragon blocks their path and confronts them head on. It unleashes a devastating stream of fire, catching Eddie's son, who had not yet reached the truck. But the group has no choice but to flee without him. In the aftermath, the entire community mourns the tragic loss of the young boy. Quinn's best friend Creedy expresses his frustration and argues that Eddie's stubbornness led to this tragedy. Quinn agrees, and he adds that the tragedy has also led to the destruction of their entire crop supply. In the next scene, a convoy of armored vehicles arrives outside the castle. Creedy and the castle's security team approach them cautiously. Soon after, the convoy's leader, a charismatic American man named Denton Van Zandt,
All right, 420 blaze it.
steps out of his tank and requests a meeting with the castle's leader. He then meets with Quinn and introduces his group as dragon hunters. He reveals that they actively hunt dragons and are on a mission to rid the world of these dangerous creatures. Van Zandt inquires if he and his comrades can take shelter in the castle to recover and restore their weapons. Quinn remains skeptical about his story and rejects their request. But to prove his claims, Van Zandt pulls out a sharp tooth, claiming that he personally killed a dragon during a hunt and extracted its tooth as a trophy.
And I use it to pack my blunts.
He further reveals that a dragon's main weakness is its poor vision during twilight. This is enough to convince Quinn, and he agrees to let them stay, but he also sternly warns them not to cause any trouble within their community. Following this, the convoy drives their armored vehicles into the castle, while their pilot, Alexandra, flies in on her helicopter. Once the newcomers are in, Quinn instructs Creedy to keep an eye on them. Afterward, the security guard monitoring the area spots another dragon soaring through the sky. He immediately sets off the alarms, leading both teams to come together to prepare for another battle. 3 American men are dispatched on a motorbike to reach the location where they intend to hunt the dragons. Their task is to go ahead of the group and install a radar-like device in the fields, where the dragons are expected to appear. The device consists of 3 poles arranged in a triangular formation, and it must be carefully positioned to detect the dragons. 2 of the bikers successfully deploy the device at the designated site. However, the 3rd rider meets with an accident and tragically loses his life before completing the mission. Van Zandt tries to communicate with the 3rd team member, but receives no response. On the other hand, Alexandra's team sets off on the helicopter to confront the dragon. The creature suddenly appears behind them, but soon vanishes into the clouds. The team loses sight of it and then drifts aimlessly as the radar device isn't completely deployed. Luckily, Quinn observes these events unfolding and swiftly locates the 3rd biker. He uses his walkie-talkie to inform Van Zandt about the tragic outcome. The American then directs him on where to position the 3rd radar, and he manages to place the machine in the correct location. Meanwhile, Alexandra's team gains visibility just in time to spot a dragon charging towards them. She then instructs one of her team members to jump from the helicopter, acting as bait. The man grabs the equipment and bravely leaps from the helicopter, drawing the dragon's attention. The strategy succeeds as the dragon flies towards the man. Seconds later, 2 more soldiers leap from the helicopter and sneak up behind the beast. They trap it in a net. A net? But the creature effortlessly breaks free and devours one of the soldiers. That plan sucked. The other one fails to open his parachute in time and tragically falls to his death. Van Zandt's
the
team.
movie recap is like they tried to put like a net on a dragon and it failed, and the like commenter or whatever is like, that plan sucked. And I was like, you know what, I 100% agree. So I giggled. It was like, what kind of fucking plan is that? Like, at least like have giant boas or something that'll like wrap around it, like not a little net.
Is as phony as McConaughey's self-help classes. On the ground, Quinn receives word that the dragon is now heading towards the mountain where he is located. Van Zandt then contacts him and proposes that he act as bait in a final attempt to defeat the dragon. Without any hesitation, Quinn agrees and rides towards the beast on horseback. Just before the dragon can cause a fatality, Van Zandt manages to shoot it with an explosive arrow, ultimately killing it.
All right, yeah.
After the battle, Quinn, Alexandra, and Van Zandt gather to discuss discuss their upcoming plan. She shares her discovery that all the dragons they killed so far have been female. She speculates that the dragons reproduce rapidly, relying on a single male to fertilize numerous eggs. Hence, Van Zandt proposes that they locate and eliminate the male dragon, thereby wiping out the entire species.
I'm jealous of that bastard. Let's take him out.
He has heard rumors about the male dragon hibernating in London and plans to travel there. Van Zandt invites Quinn and his team to join forces for this mission. However, our hero refuses, concerned that hunting the male dragon could provoke the creatures to retaliate fiercely. He does not want to risk the lives of his people any further. Frustrated, Van Zandt storms outside and gathers men from both teams for their mission, but Quinn is strictly against this, and a heated scuffle ensues between the two leaders. Fortunately, before any serious damage is done, Alexandra arrives and separates them. In the next scene, Van Zandt proceeds to set out with his combined forces, consisting of men from both his and Quinn's teams. Shortly afterward, Quinn notices his apprentice Jared preparing to leave with the convoy. He tries to persuade him to stay behind at the castle due to the risky nature of the mission. However, the young man coldly reminds Quinn that he is not his father to order him around. Jared then joins the convoy and sets off for London to confront the male dragon. That night, Quinn strategically places dragon bones around the castle grounds. It is then revealed that the beasts hate the scent of their deceased kin, and it could deter them from the area for a short period. Surprisingly, Jared walks back on his decision to join the convoy and returns to the castle. Elsewhere, Van Zandt and his team reach a nearby town devastated by dragon attacks. Their path is obstructed by ruins, forcing them to stop. Suddenly, an explosion erupts in the distance, and Van Zandt swiftly assembles his men. They raise their weapons, preparing to confront the threat. Shortly after, the dragon shows up, and Van Zandt commands his men to open fire, but the dragon engulfs them in flames within moments. Realizing that there's no way they can fight back, Van Zandt takes cover in his vehicle to shield himself against the fire. Shortly after, Alexandra arrives at the scene and discovers Van Zandt as the lone survivor of the attack. He confirms that the male dragon was the perpetrator and fears it may now be heading towards the castle. Afterward, the dragon arrives at the shelter and unleashes its devastating fiery breath. This forces everyone to rush to the underground bunker for their safety. Meanwhile, Quinn frantically rushes upstairs, only to find the shelter completely engulfed in flames. Amidst the chaos, Creedy is trapped under the burning rubble. Despite Quinn's desperate efforts, his best friend tragically succumbs to the fire. Following the tragic event, Van Zandt and Alexandra return to the castle and free the residents trapped in the bunker. A devastated Quinn then announces that he'll help them kill the male dragon once and for all. He knows that its nest is near the construction site in London, where his mother was killed decades ago. Using Alexandra's helicopter, the trio soon arrives in London, which is now a decimated, abandoned town, overrun by hundreds of dragons. The group witnesses the smaller female dragons being cannibalized by the visibly larger male. This causes the females to scatter in fear, leaving the male dragon alone and undefended. Quinn, who has been familiar with London since childhood, guides his team to the construction site. Van Zandt then lays out their strategy. They will divide their forces to lure the dragon into attacking them, and when it opens its mouth, Quinn will fire a C4 explosive strapped to a crossbow bolt down the dragon's throat. Van Zandt has been playing Zelda. Following this, the group takes cover and gets ready to execute their plan. The male dragon soon arrives and spots Quinn on the ground. It targets him with a fiery attack, but he manages to dodge the assault somehow. Alexandra then acts as bait and successfully lures the dragon towards the tower, all according to plan. However, the beast unexpectedly redirects its attention to Van Zandt. He tries to shoot the explosive into its mouth, but the dragon easily destroys it. Knowing that their plan has failed, Van Zandt jumps off the building to attack the male dragon with his giant axe. Unfortunately, he is no match for the creature, who catches and eats him midair.
All right, all right, all
Too bad he didn't just do that with the C4. Meanwhile, Quinn realizes Van Zandt had dropped a few explosive arrows during the early...
give you a date or anything yet? Yeah. You know what that means, right, though? Means we need to go to restaurant together next week. I finish early for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we need to figure something out. Do you have access to your computer in there? Do they have a computer? There's no computer time? Sad. Yeah, no, of course, of course. I just wondered if like, it is something they look. I expect some Discord chat.
Attack. While the dragon continues to spit fire all around, Quinn and Alexandra manage to find a new hiding spot for cover. Suddenly, he sees the arrows near a truck and sprints towards them, with the dragon closely pursuing him. In a daring move, Quinn stands his ground right in front of the male dragon. Just as the beast opens its mouth to unleash hell, he shoots the arrow directly into its throat. This causes a powerful explosion that finally kills the beast. The movie ends with a scene from 3 months later. With no recent dragon attacks, Quinn and Alexandra watch over the North Sea. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like. Hi, Mystery Recaps here. Today, I'm going to explain an action-adventure movie called Conan the Barbarian.
The Army version.
Spoilers ahead.
Watch out and take care.
The movie takes place during the Hyborian Age, a time that existed thousands of years before modern civilization. We see a Sumerian blacksmith showing his young son Conan a masterpiece sword that he created. He explains that one should never trust men, women, or beasts, but they can trust their sword. Not their penis sword, their metal one. In the following scene, as Conan is scavenging the forest with some boys, he discovers an enemy gang. Terrified, he rushes back to inform the villagers, but the enemy troops reach their first. They begin to brutally slaughter the villagers and set fire to their homes. Only a few are able to arm themselves and fight back. Conan's father also fights valiantly, but a man named Rexor strikes him from behind with a large axe. He then unleashes war dogs to finish off the wounded blacksmith. Following this, we meet the enemy force's leader, a sorcerer named Thulsa Doom. He approaches Conan's mother, who tries to strike him with a sword. However, Doom easily hypnotizes her with his gaze and beheads her, leaving Conan horrified.
Where's my mom's head?
Following the massacre, the invaders capture the children and sell them into slavery. Nobody knows who the invaders were or where they went, but Conan remembers their banner, which featured a two-headed serpent above a black sun and moon. The young children are then used as laborers to keep a large treadmill going, known as the Wheel of Pain. Cut to many years later, Conan has become an adult, and he's strong enough to run the treadmill alone.
I've got the guns to do it.
His owner then puts him to work as a gladiator, where he wins countless battles. After this, he is taken to the east, where he receives formal training from martial arts experts. Conan not only improves his combat skills, but also his proficiency with swords and other weapons. Furthermore, he learns to read and write, and young women are provided for him to sleep with.
Try to keep the ladies coming.
Conan keeps on winning his fights, and his owner becomes immensely wealthy. Thus, he is finally granted his freedom. In the next scene, Conan returns to the west, but is pursued across the plains by a pack of wild dogs. He seeks refuge in a solitary rock formation, where he accidentally enters the tomb of an old king. He then steals the king's sword so that he can defend himself from the dogs.
Time to go fetch, little puppies.
Following this, Conan wanders around for years and has many adventures. But wherever he goes, he asks if anybody knows the sign of the two-headed serpent above the black sun and moon. One day, while traveling through the wilderness, Conan comes across a small hut occupied by a woman. She invites him him inside and claims that she knows him from his popular tales. Conan explains that he's looking for a symbol, a single serpent with two heads facing each other. The woman offers to help him, but on the condition that he sleeps with her. Men wrote this movie. Conan agrees without any hesitation.
I'm rock hard already, babe.
That's a good comment, bro. Did you ever watch the old Conan the Barbarian? No? It's like, it's funny, it's with Arnold, right? And it's like, there's a scene, and the way he explains it is like, the woman, it says she will help him if he sleeps with her, right? And then he follows with, this movie is written by men. Like, yeah, I can see that. In those
And
years,
they go
yeah.
to bed together. During their love-making session,
Yeah. Oh, man.
the woman tells Conan that he will find what he is looking for in the ancient city of Shadizar. But moments later, she transforms into a demon and tries to attack him, forcing Conan to throw her into the fire. It is then revealed that she is a witch rather than an ordinary person. She then transforms into a ball of flame and runs away while laughing. The next day, Conan prepares to leave, but he discovers a man chained outside the witch's house. His name is Subotai, and he's a Hyrcanian archer and thief. It turns out that he was left there to die as punishment for his theft. Conan sets him free, and the two quickly become friends. He then shares about the serpent symbol and his plan to visit Shadizar. With nothing better to do, Subotai also offers to accompany him on his journey. In the next scene, they arrive at Shadizar and question an elderly man about the strange serpent symbol. The latter directs them to the Tower of Snakes, a local temple for a new cult that worships snakes. He also reveals that the location is said to have great treasures, including a massive ruby known as the Eye of the Serpent. Later, when Conan and Subotai attempt to climb the temple, they come across another thief named Valeria. The three then decide to join forces and break into the temple to steal the treasures.
Yeah. It's now a threesome.
Following this, Valeria climbs the tower and checks out the top floor, where Rexor is performing a ritual. He is hypnotizing a woman into stripping and throwing herself into a snake pit. Meanwhile, Conan and Subotai reach the pit containing the Eye of the Serpent, which is guarded by a massive snake. But it is currently sleeping, so the two steal everything they can, including the huge ruby. Moments later, Conan discovers a pendant with the two-headed serpent, confirming that he is on the right track. He steals it as well, but this is when the snake awakens.
Wow. What a savage beast.
A deadly battle then ensues between the two parties, but the men eventually manage to slay the creature. Simultaneously, Rexor discovers that the snake has died and becomes enraged. He immediately sends his guard after the thieves, but our heroes manage to escape unharmed. After the successful robbery, they indulge in an intense session of partying and drinking. Conan even gifts the huge ruby to Valeria, and they end up making love.
I sleep with everything that moves.
The next morning, they are picked up by soldiers and taken to the palace of the local King Osric. He informs the thieves that he knows what they have done because Rexor came to complain to him. He also states how Rexor threatened him with consequences if he did not catch the thieves. Upon hearing this, the trio is terrified and assumes that they will be executed. But, to their surprise, Osric reveals that he has no regard for this serpent cult and congratulates them instead. He explains that his own daughter, Yasmin, has joined the cult and is a devoted follower of the high priest, Thulsa Doom. At this very moment, she is on her way to a place called the Temple of Set to marry Doom. Osric then showers the trio with gifts and promises to provide enough treasures for them to become kings. In exchange, he wants them to save his daughter from the clutches of Thulsa Doom. After a while, Conan and Valeria become intimate again and express their love for one another. Valeria doesn't want to risk their current happiness and advises against going after Yasmin. She explains that they should just enjoy their treasures and leave King Osric to deal with his own problem. Conan pretends to agree with her, but in his mind, he is determined to exact revenge on Doom and probably sleep with Osric's daughter. The next morning, he wakes up before the others and sets out alone to the Temple of Set. After a while of walking, he arrives at the sacred standing stones guarded by an old wizard named Akiro. They quickly become friends and spend the night talking about their lives. Conan discusses his mission, but Akiro warns him that Doom is much more powerful than an ordinary person. The next day, Conan continues his journey and arrives outside the Temple of Set. He attacks a priest priest and knocks him out before stealing his clothes. He then disguises himself as a priest and sneaks into the temple along with the others. However, shortly after, one of the priests notices the serpent pendant, which blows our hero's cover, and he is brought before Doom. The latter tortures Conan and scolds him for stealing from their temple and killing their sacred snake. Conan also expresses rage about how they murdered his parents and destroyed his village. However, Doom responds that he was young at the time and does not recall the incident. He then directs his men to crucify Conan on the Tree of Regret. Following this, Conan is left in the desert, nailed to an ancient tree. He assumes he's going to die soon, but a few days later, Subotai manages to find him unconscious. Valeria arrives shortly after, and they free him from the nails and carry him to Akiro's hut. Conan is almost dead at this point, so Akiro summons underworld spirits to heal him. He warns that they will demand a high price, but Valeria is willing to pay anything to save her beloved. Akiro then spends several days performing rituals and painting patterns on Conan's body. A few more days later, he finally wakes up, having fully recovered. Valeria becomes emotional to see him alive and promises to always be by his side, even if she has to return from the afterlife. Next, the trio decides to return to the mountain to rescue Yasmin and kill Doom. They paint themselves with warrior camouflage and enter the temple through the back door while silently killing the guards. Inside, they discover a cannibalistic slaughterhouse where cult members are taken to be eaten by the leaders. They then move forward until they reach the throne room, where they finally find Yasmin kneeling at Doom's feet. Moments later, Doom reveals his secret to his power and longevity. It turns out he is not human at all, but rather a demigod spawn of the devil. His jaw begins to extend forward and his hands disappear beneath his robe. Seconds later, he unexpectedly transforms into a massive snake. Upon seeing this, the trio launches an attack, killing several of Doom's minions. They eventually manage to reach Yasmin and take her away forcibly. They then get on their horses and escape the wretched place. But moments later, Doom shows up, this time in his human form. He shoots them with an arrow made from a live, poisoned snake before hurrying back to the temple. The arrow strikes Valeria on the side and mortally wounds her. Conan and Subotai get her off her horse and try to save her, but it's too late. In her final moments, she informs Conan that she promised to pay the price for his life, which she has now fulfilled. She then kisses him one last time before succumbing to her injuries. In the next scene, Conan burns Valeria's body and conducts a proper barbarian funeral for her. Yasmin, who's tied to a rock nearby, mocks him, saying that Doom will see the fire and come after him. However, Conan simply smiles, as if he wants the enemy to come to him. Later, at the sacred standing stones, Conan, Akiro, and Subotai prepare for defense and lay numerous booby traps.
Booby.
Conan then prays to the Sumerian god to give him his revenge. Soon enough, Doom arrives
That's
with his
gross.
minions and
I think
launches
maybe
a deadly
after it's
attack, but
gross.
Conan and Subotai manage to defeat the majority of his forces using the booby traps. As the war
There's a
rages
beauty
on,
to the
Rexor
last
gains
kiss,
the
okay,
upper
Matt?
hand on Conan and almost kills him, but Valeria briefly appears from the afterlife as she had promised. She then uses her light shield to block Rexor's deadly blow. This allows Conan to fight back and eventually kill Rexor with his sword. After losing all of his men, an enraged Doom decides to kill Yasmin with one of his snake arrows. She pleads for mercy and calls him the love of her life, but Doom doesn't care and ends up shooting her. Fortunately, her life is saved when Subotai jumps in front of her with his shield. This infuriates Doom so much that he runs back to his temple to energize his powers. The scene then shifts to the mountain temple, where Doom is performing a purification ritual with the fire of torches. Conan sneaks into the temple again, this time with the help of Yasmin, who has now joined his cause. When Doom sees him, he welcomes him with open arms. He even addresses Conan as his son, reminding him that he was the one who gave the boy purpose and strength in life. Doom attempts to hypnotize him, and for a brief moment, it appears to work. But Conan quickly snaps back to reality and decapitates Doom. He then tosses the head to the followers at the bottom of the stairs.
Here you go, little man.
The cult members are terrified to see this and immediately run away. In the aftermath, Conan throws a burning oil lamp into the temple, setting it on fire. Yasmin then surrenders at his feet, and he leads her to her father. As the movie ends, we see a much older Conan seated on a throne. Akiro explains in a voiceover that Conan went on many adventures before ultimately gaining a throne and becoming the king. Subscribe for more videos.
You ever watch Rubber, you? Yeah. I remember watching when it came out. One of those special. Wait, Hills have
Hi,
eyes. I know
Mystery
that.
Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain a horror action movie called The Hills Have Eyes 2. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins at a military nuclear testing base in the
You ever
New
watched a horror
Mexico
movie,
desert, known as Sector
Hillbilly?
16. A woman is seen being forced to breed
There's like
mutant
1, 2, 3,
children in
6.
captivity. She screams in pain as the leader of the inbred mutants, Papa Hades, ruthlessly rips out the
Hillbilly.
baby from her body. But when he realizes that the child is
Like people getting
stillborn,
lost
he
in the
crushes
woods
her
and getting,
skull
like,
with a rock. I
hunted
saw
by
this movie when I was a
cannibals,
teenager.
hillbillies.
It changed my life for the worse. The events
It's really
leading up
fucked
to
up
this
because they're like 6
horrific
movie,
ordeal are soon
and they always have like
uncovered.
fucked
It
up
turns out
traps
that
in the
about
wood.
2 years ago, an American family unknowingly entered the isolated
Just makes you be
Sector
scared of,
16.
like, woods,
Before
you know,
long, the
you're
men
just kinda
from the
like, yeah,
family were
never mind.
slaughtered, while the woman was taken hostage for breeding purposes. Following the incident, the government decides to keep a close eye on Sector 16. The U.S. Army, along with a team of scientists, is then dispatched to install an infrared surveillance system. Dr. Wilson establishes a camp at the base to monitor the surveillance readings.
Is
He
Valve
detects
game?
unusual movement near the site, but abruptly loses the data feed. Meanwhile, Dr. Hahn is at an old bunker repairing cameras when he discovers the main electrical box has caught fire. Before he can react, something attacks him, and his body is dissected into
No,
pieces.
I see the game,
Elsewhere,
Deadlock.
Dr. Foster is working at the top of the hills when he is confronted by a horrifying mutant. He tries to run away, but another mutant appears from behind and brutally finishes him
Well, add it
off.
to
The
my
commanding
wish list.
officer,
I'll see
Colonel
what it
Redding,
is.
hears his desperate screams and climbs the hill to investigate. But before he can find anything, a mutant impales him with a sharp spear and throws him off the cliff.
Who taught these things how to use spears?
Afterward, we are introduced to a group of National Guard soldiers led by Sergeant Jeffrey, also known as Sarge, because Jeffrey doesn't sound cool at all. He is portrayed as a tough and disciplined officer as he berates his inexperienced soldiers after their unsuccessful mission. Sarge then orders his team to be deployed to the deserted base in Sector 16 for their next
We'll see
training.
what it
He
is.
informs them that their mission is to deliver supplies to the scientists stationed there. However, these soldiers remain unaware of the tragic fate suffered by the previous team. Upon arriving at Sector 16, they find the camp completely abandoned, with no trace of the army or the scientists. They also realize that they cannot communicate outside the base due to its isolated location. Sarge then orders Soldier Crack to locate Colonel Redding, who is responsible for the security at the camp. Crack eventually stumbles upon an old bunker, but finds no one inside. Shortly after, the soldiers receive a call from Colonel Redding on their radio. He urgently requests their help and states that he's somewhere in the hills. The transmission cuts off abruptly, but they soon notice a distress signal on top of the hills. Sarge then decides to launch a rescue operation, and the soldiers prepare their weapons for the same. However, a guy named Napoleon is hesitant, as he believes that they should first contact the headquarters. When he continues to insist, Sarge punishes him by ordering him to guard the camp's
Hey, the hills
portable
have ties.
toilet.
If you want to be such a wiener, boy, then you can take care of the piss.
As the team
Dude.
prepares for the mission, Sarge criticizes their combat skills despite being halfway through their training. He singles out Soldier Amber and orders her to stay at the camp. Her task is to keep trying to establish contact with the base using the main radio. Sarge then leads the others on their rescue mission, leaving the two behind at the camp. Along the way, Soldier Mickey suddenly slips and almost falls down a hole in the ground. The team manages to pull him up, but they soon realize that the hole goes much deeper. Sarge then speculates that it leads to an old underground mine and warns everyone to remain alert to their surroundings. They decide to continue with the mission, but Mickey is unable to walk properly as he sprained his foot earlier. Hence, he is ordered to abandon the mission and return back for his own safety. Back at the camp, Napoleon ditches his punishment to use the restroom. While doing his business, a bloodied hand suddenly reaches out through the toilet. Napoleon frantically runs away from there and informs Amber about what he just saw. The latter believes he's joking, but when she notices the frightened look on his face, she realizes that he's serious. The two then head towards the restroom, where they notice a severely mutilated man emerging from the toilet. He turns out to be none other than Dr. Wilson, the scientist who had mysteriously vanished from the camp during the last mission. After escorting him to the camp, Amber asks about the cuts on his his body. Dr. Wilson, who is in his last stages, warns them that they are here. The soldiers try to learn more, but he abruptly passes away without giving an answer. Amber is puzzled by his sudden death since the cuts didn't seem too deep, but Napoleon speculates that the unsanitary environment caused severe infection in the open wounds and killed him. Then they try to contact the base again, but the radio still fails to establish a connection. Suddenly, they hear an explosion nearby and rush to investigate. They are shocked to discover that their military jeep has been mysteriously set on fire. Their rifles have also gone missing, as if someone is intentionally preventing them from escaping. Meanwhile, the soldiers on the rescue mission find themselves lost. The similar-looking hills make it especially difficult to find the source of the distress signal. They eventually come to the conclusion that climbing the rocks is their only way up the hills. At the same time, Amber decides to hike up the hill to warn the rest of the team. Napoleon cautions her about the potential danger of going alone, but he's definitely too much of a wiener to go with her. He tries to reach Sarge through the radio, but Amber starts to make her way up the rugged path. She soon begins to hear eerie growls around her and nervously calls out to Napoleon. Suddenly, a disfigured mutant attacks her from behind. He tries to bash her head in, prompting her to struggle for her life. Just when it seems Amber is going to be killed, Mickey arrives there and shoots down the mutant. The creature then crawls into a hidey hole among the rocks. While Amber approaches Mickey, as they're talking, someone suddenly grabs his foot from a nearby hole. Amber desperately tries to free him, and Napoleon quickly joins in to help her as well. But unfortunately, the mutant severs Mickey's leg before violently pulling him into the hole.
It's definitely that.
Good.
It's definitely
Mickey
that.
just became Minnie. Back to the rescue team, they finally managed to reach the top of the hill. However, instead of finding a living, injured person, they discover the lifeless body of Dr. Foster. Sarge instructs Soldier Spitter to contact Amber on the radio, but they fail to reach her. Just then, they receive another distress call, but the transmission cuts off before they can respond. Sarge then asserts that they must rescue whoever is in need and orders the team to continue moving. Along the way, he hears unusual movement, so he directs Crank and Spitter to scout one side of the area while he investigates the other. The two soldiers oblige and they cautiously make their way ahead. Suddenly, a deformed man approaches them from behind and launches an attack. They swiftly fire at the creature, but it dodges every single bullet. Hearing the commotion, Sarge rushes to the scene, but he is accidentally shot by Spitter. The rest of the soldiers try their best to revive him, but it is too late. The bullet wound proves to be fatal, and Sarge passes away on the spot. In the aftermath of this incident, Spitter and Crack are left devastated, as they never intended to harm their leader. Amber and Napoleon also join the rest of the team, and are horrified to witness Sarge lying lifeless on the ground. But they know they can't linger around for much longer, so they carry Sarge's body and continue their journey up the hill. Afterward, the team reaches a point where they have to rig a line to get down the hill. They decide to lower the lifeless body of Sarge first, and Spitter volunteers to accompany him. Napoleon then makes a double bowline for both of them, and the soldiers carefully position the two men. After securing the harness, Spitter slowly begins to make his way down the hill. But just when everything is going well, a mutant suddenly cuts the rope, causing Spitter and Sarge to drop straight onto the rocks below. This devastates the soldiers, as they realize the mutants are picking them off one by one. To make matters worse, their remaining gear is also stolen. This leaves the soldiers with no choice but to walk through the dangerously narrow hills in search of another escape route. After a while, they arrive at a dead end and hear a faint grunt nearby. They cautiously approach the sound and discover a severely wounded person. It turns out to be Colonel Redding, who's barely clinging on to life. Enraged at their current situation, the group demands that he reveal the secrets of Sector 16. Colonel Redding then explains that the army had conducted search and destroy missions in the area years ago, but some mutants managed to avoid being captured.
I'm like, you're
by
being
hiding in
funny,
the
I
mines.
see. He's like,
This
I am
freaks out the
funny.
soldiers, and they ask about the escape route. The colonel responds that their only option is to take the exit route through the mining caves. However, the mutants will lethally attack any man who attempts to pass, while they capture women for breeding. Colonel Redding then lets out an evil laugh before committing the unthinkable with a fatal gunshot. This means he knew he was going to shoot himself, but he waited a really long time first, just so he could laugh at them. Following this, the soldiers decide to rest for a while before resuming their journey. Amber and another female soldier, Missy, then separate themselves from the men and sit beside the rocks. As they engage in conversation, a mutant slowly sneaks up behind them. However, this turns out to be a trap that they have set. The remaining soldiers appear out of nowhere and fire at the mutant, killing him brutally. They then celebrate their small victory, despite knowing that there are many more mutants lurking around. Shortly after, Missy steps away from the team to pee. She must not have understood what made the earlier plan a good plan. A mutant happens to be hiding among the rocks, and he suddenly snatches her away. The soldiers only see Missy as she's being dragged through a mining cave. At this intense moment, a guy named Stump has a conversation with his fellow soldier, Delmar. He mentions that the two of them can go down the hills without any ropes. He then selfishly asks the rest of the group to hang tight until they bring back help. Delmar reminds them that they must all stay together to survive. However, Stump ignores his advice and decides to escape on his own. He even promises to return with help and dashes off from the cave. The rest of the team eventually stumbles upon a secret hatch that reaches deep into the ground. They decide to take their chances and go down one by one. After landing, they cautiously walk through the underground passage. Meanwhile, Stump nervously scours the area as he walks alone. He climbs down the rocks and comes across a large cave that leads inside the hill. He calls out to his friends, but gets no response. Stump then decides to climb further down the hill and lowers himself onto a rock, but just then, a mutant emerges from the cave and hacks off one of his arms. Poor Stump, who now lives up to his name, is unable to hold on for too long and tragically falls to his death. Elsewhere, the remaining soldiers come across a creek. While walking through, Napoleon notices Amber putting a bullet in her pocket. She candidly states that she's keeping it for herself in case the situation becomes too much to bear. Just then, she almost slips into the creek, but clings tightly to the concrete. Napoleon tries his best to pull her up, but both of them end up falling deeper into the cave. Fearing that their friends will be attacked, Crank and Delmar decide to use a nearby beam to get down to join them. Meanwhile, the mutant takes Missy to his secret lair and tries forcibly to kiss her. She bites his tongue off and kicks him in the crotch before running away. Unfortunately, she doesn't get too far as the giant mutant leader Papa Hades arrives. He then drags Missy onto a table, and the rest I'm gonna skip because this is the part that gave me trauma. In the meantime, another mutant finds Amber and grabs her by the neck. He tries to forcibly kiss her, but Napoleon swiftly smashes his head in with a rock. At this moment, a blind mutant arrives there and picks up on their human scent. He sniffs through the area and comes after the duo as they cautiously move back without making a noise. Amber then discovers a secret hatch nearby, and they quickly get inside. They soon come face to face with another mutant, but instead of attacking, he kindly lets them stay in his lair. Didn't have that on my batshit bingo card. Shortly after, Crank and Delmar arrive near the hatch, but the blind mutant sniffs them out from a distance. He appears to be smarter than the others as he grabs a nearby rifle and begins firing indiscriminately. Crank somehow manages to kill the mutant, but Delmar ends up being shot in the arms. Despite this, they continue walking and eventually reunite with their other friends. Napoleon and Amber then bring them inside the lair, where they encounter the friendly mutant. They initially hesitate to trust him, but Amber reveals that he was the one who saved them. The mutant then leads them through a lair filled with rotting corpses and human body parts. When Crank spots the dead body of Mickey, he becomes furious and tries to attack the mutant, but Delmar stops him in the nick of time. Crank then turns around and discovers his friend bleeding from his mouth. It turns out he was shot not only in the arms, but also in the chest. Delmar then breathes his last and passes away, devastating his friends. In the next scene, the friendly mutant leads them further into the cave towards the exit. Amber doesn't want to escape just yet, as she wants to rescue Missy. Crank tries to make her understand that she is most likely dead, and they should just run away from here. However, Amber and Napoleon remain determined to find Missy, and they set out on their mission. After a while, Crank stumbles upon a box of dynamite. The friendly mutant warns him not to touch it, but Crank disregards his advice and removes the box. This accidentally triggers the dynamite, and the idiot is blown to pieces. Elsewhere, during their search for Missy, Napoleon and Amber kill another violent mutant. They eventually reach Papa Hades' lair and witness their friend being ruthlessly assaulted. In a clever move, Amber records a voice message on Missy's phone and sets it up at a distance to create a distraction. When Papa Hades goes to investigate the noise, the soldiers take the opportunity to free Missy, but he soon returns and violently knocks Napoleon down. He then targets Missy and picks her up before repeatedly slamming her on the ground. Unable to watch her friend suffer, Amber uses her last bullet to shoot Papa Hades right through the head. But even after a part of his brain is blown off, he doesn't budge. He instead storms towards Amber, grabs her by the neck, and chokes her against the wall. Just when it seems he's going to kill her, Napoleon impales him with a spear through his back. This finally takes the beast down, and the trio proceeds to butcher him using various weapons. Napoleon is the one to deliver the final blow as he shoves a rifle in the creature's mouth. Just a few hours ago, he was guarding the toilet, but now he has killed the mightiest beast of the hills. The movie comes to an end as the trio makes their way out of the mine, unaware that they are still being watched by a mutant. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications. Hi, Mystery Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain a horror fantasy movie called The Watchers, directed by Ishana Night Shyamalan. Will she inherit her father's penchant for a good twist? Let's find out together. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie opens in a forest in Ireland, where a man named John is running desperately. He soon arrives at a sign that says Point of No Return 108. He keeps running, but quickly notices that he's been going in circles all along. Suddenly, a flock of crows appears, and he realizes it will soon be dark. John becomes terrified and tries to climb a tree for shelter, but he slips and falls. Moments later, an unseen creature arrives and drags him away. In the following scene, we see an American girl named Mina working in a pet store in Galway. Her boss gives her a valuable golden conure parrot and asks her to deliver it to a zoo in Belfast. Mina agrees, as she is also tired of sitting in the store all day. The next day, she departs for Belfast with the parrot. On the way, she receives a voice message from her twin sister Lucy, who reminds her of their mother's death anniversary. She claims it has been 15 years and asks Mina to move on from the incident and not blame herself. Tough to do when she's calling with reminders. She also invites her to visit the family, but Mina appears uninterested. Shortly after, Mina enters a forest area with numerous signs of missing people and animals. Her radio then turns off on its own and the car comes to a sudden stop. She attempts to restart the vehicle, but it doesn't work. So she gets out and starts looking around. Mina soon stumbles upon a sign that says Point of No Return 12. This makes her assume that someone lives nearby, so she decides to go a bit further. However,
How does a sign saying Point of No Return, right, makes you think somebody lives nearby?
just moments later, when Mina turns around, she notices that her car has vanished. She becomes concerned as she realizes nightfall's approaching.
No.
Shortly after, she hears
I'd be like,
mysterious
oh,
sounds coming
somebody's
from nearby,
warning
and the
me,
ground
don't go
also
that
begins
way.
to shake. Mina then notices someone running and decides to follow them. She eventually discovers a cabin where an
Huh?
old woman informs her that she must enter if she wants to
No, I'm
live.
watching
Hearing the
stuff.
animals screeching, Mina decides to trust
Keep
the
up,
woman
Matt.
and rushes inside. Following this, the old woman introduces herself as Madeline and presents her with two
Said I'm
companions,
watching
Kiara
recaps,
and
I'm
Daniel.
not
She
playing
explains
anything.
that the cabin they are in is called the Coop and that they have all been here for a while. The group then holds hands and looks into what appears to be a two-sided mirror. Madeline reveals that the beings on the other side are known as the Watchers. They are forest creatures who visit the cabin every night to observe the occupants. Since Mina is new, they position her in front of them to welcome her. The Watchers seemingly like her, and they give her a warm applause.
Tell her to eat a piece of cake. Easy, Daniel, too.
The next morning, a confused Mina believes these people are insane and decides to leave. She takes the parrot along with her and sets off to find her car. However, she quickly becomes disoriented and unsure of her path. Mina arrives near a cliff where she is shocked to see the massive forest around her. This makes her realize that it is impossible to get out of here on foot. Shortly after, Madeline catches up with her and asks her to return. She explains that they have all tried to flee, but the fog causes visual hallucinations, making escape nearly impossible. She also reveals that there are several points of no return signs in the forest that can guide them back to the coop before sunset. However, crossing the line means they will not be able to turn back. When Mina asks who put up these signs, Madeline says they call him the Professor. With no other choice, Mina returns to the coop and decides to live with them. The next day, the group goes out to hunt for food, and during this time, she bonds with Kiara. The latter confides that her husband John was with them until last week, when he supposedly went out for help. He is actually the same guy we saw at the start of the movie. Following this, Kiara takes Mina to a massive burrow where the Watchers live. She explains that there are many of these throughout the forest, and the Watchers are unable to come out during the day. When Mina asks how long she has been here, she responds that she and John arrived 5 months ago. Later, as they gather around the fireplace, Madeline informs Mina about the rules of survival here. These include never turning your back on the mirror, never opening the door in the dark, occasionally at the crack of midnight showing your butt crack to the mirror, staying away from from the burrows and always remaining in the light. The next day, Mina goes on hunting duties with Daniel. He admits that he has been here for 8 months and has never seen a watcher. Mina finds this strange and begins to question Madeline's honesty with them. She asks him to help her investigate the burrows, and after some hesitation, he finally agrees. With Daniel's help, Mina uses a rope to descend into one of the burrows. She then uses her lighter to illuminate the area and discovers several old objects, including a newspaper, a broken camcorder, and some stuffed animals. Moments later, a strange hand approaches and attempts to hurt her, but before it can do so, Daniel throws the rope, allowing Mina to climb up with the items. In the next scene, Mina displays the items she has gathered and persuades the group to devise an escape plan. Madeline suspects Mina of breaking the rules, but she claims that she found the items in the forest. After a while, Daniel fixes the camcorder and connects it to the TV. They then decide to place it outside by the door to keep an eye on the watchers. Later, during dinner, a man approaches the door coughing and knocking. They see his legs on the television screen, and the man claims to be John. Madeline is shocked and says it's not possible because no humans are spared after it gets dark. She questions Mina, asking if she broke the rules, and the latter finally admits that she went inside one of the burrows. Meanwhile, Kiara wants to open the door for her husband, but Madeline says it is a watcher in disguise. Kiara then tests him by asking about the book she's currently reading, but the man cannot answer. This finally makes her realize that the man is not her husband. But before she can proceed with her next move, she is attacked by a watcher who also destroys the camcorder. The next morning, the group gathers the things Mina brought and throws them into the burrow. Madeline is furious with her and orders her to stop risking others' lives for her experiments. Mina also understands the gravity of the situation, so she promises to abide by the rules from now on. The scene then cuts to a flashback of Mina's childhood on the day she lost her mother. Mom was driving the car, while Mina and Lucy were playing in the back seat. Everything was going well until Mina got her hand stuck in the window and she started screaming. Mom looked back to check what was going on, but this caused her to get distracted. The resulting collision immediately killed her, while the two daughters managed to survive with just minor injuries. Mina has been living with guilt since then and has struggled to move on. She shouldn't blame herself. Everyone who's ever driven a car in a movie has crashed it. In the present, we see that many months have passed in the forest, and winter has now come. Things have become increasingly tense for the group because of food scarcity. As a result, Daniel and Madeline frequently argue, and Kiara has become depressed while missing her husband. One afternoon, Daniel and Madeline have another heated argument. He becomes so enraged that he ties her up to a tree. When Mina tries to free her, Daniel grabs Kiara and locks the coupe door, leaving the other two outside. The women plead with Daniel to open the door, but he continues to refuse. As darkness falls, Madeline guides Mina to a makeshift shelter of branches where they can hide. They then notice the watchers emerging for the first time. The creatures are tall, lanky, spider-like monsters that let out horrible screeches. They stand by the window and are puzzled by the two women's absence. Daniel informs them that the women are still outside and urges the creatures to hunt them down. The watchers seemingly agree and begin roaming around the forest in search of them. After they leave, Madeline and Mina bang on the door again, pleading with Daniel to open it. When he refuses, Mina begins to confide in him about how she caused her mother's death. She says that she is a horrible person, but Daniel doesn't have to be like her. Moved by her words, he finally changes his mind and opens the door. Once inside, Madeline chastises Daniel for his actions before finally revealing the truth about the Watchers. She explains that they were once called fairies, as they possessed wings and magical abilities, but now they have simply become shapeshifters who have been observing and attempting to mimic humans. Madeline also describes an incident when she saw a Watcher who looked exactly like her, but in a distorted form. While they are discussing this, the Watchers return to the coop and start banging on the door. This is the first time they are doing so, as the rules have been broken. The group even hears their own voices, revealing that the Watchers are quick learners. At this intense moment, Daniel discovers a hatch on the floor, which he quickly opens. Despite not knowing what's inside, they decide to enter the hatch to protect themselves from the Watchers. Shortly after, the group arrives at a secret bunker stocked with food, books, sketches, and various notes on the creatures. Mina discovers an old computer containing several videos of the professor. They find out that his name is Rory Kilmartin, and he was studying the Watchers. They then begin watching his video logs to learn more about their situation. In one of the videos, the professor reveals that he arrived here in 2009 to study the Watchers. He mentions that these creatures often watch him through the glass and attempt to mimic his actions. He further admits that he used several villagers to create the bunker, which he called Wonderland for some creepy reason. He then fed those people to the Watchers so that no one would know of his investigations. One day, the professor befriended a Watcher and gained its trust. He used the creature in his experiments, but was unable to achieve anything significant. After a year of studying the captured fairy, he realized he had turned into a monster by exploiting the lives of humans and fairies for for his selfishness. In his final video, the professor explains that anyone trapped should go to the point of no return 134, where they can find a boat to escape across the river. He also instructs the survivors to go to his university and destroy the research papers. The video ends as he takes a gun and heads upstairs to kill the captured fairy. 2 gunshots are heard, implying that both of them are dead. The next day, the group follows the professor's instructions and uses the parrot to find the river at the forest's edge. Along the way, Madeline discovers a sacred rock and explains that it represents the war between fairies and humans. What? They once coexisted peacefully, but then the fairies became stronger and started to threaten the other races. So, the humans were forced to banish them to the underground. Madeline describes how the fairies were defeated. Their wings were removed, and they are now eternally imprisoned in the forest. Soon, the sky darkens and rain begins to fall. The group arrives at the boat, but Daniel is unexpectedly approached by a wounded man. He turns out to be a watcher, posing as John, who asks for his help. The others try to warn him that it is not the real John, but it is too late. The monster soon reveals its true form and snaps Daniel's neck, killing him instantly. This horrifies the women, but they have no time to mourn for his stupid ass. So they get on the boat and flee. Since the river is just outside the forest, all the watchers can do is stare at them with scary eyes. Hours later, the trio finally crosses the forest and reaches a road. They then board the first bus they find and return to the city. The scene then cuts to a few days later, where Mina visits the professor's university and examines his work. His paper is titled The Halfling Dilemma, which details the fairies and their history before transforming into beasts. There are scrolls that prove they once lived among humans as friends and even lovers. Those born to humans and fairies became halflings. These fairies were able to mimic humans and even take on the form of the deceased. Mina then comes across a set of pictures that leave her in shock. In the next scene, she goes to Kiara's house and shares what she discovered. She shows her a photo that reveals Madeline is actually the professor's wife. However, the most shocking fact is that Madeline died of cancer in 2001. Mina suspects that the person living in the coop was a fairy impersonating Madeline. She also speculates that the professor was invested in his research because he was attempting to replicate his late wife. Hearing this, Kiara is shocked and asks how Madeline could walk in daylight. Mina says that it could be because she is a half-human. At this moment, the real Kiara shows up at the house, which leaves Mina shocked. It means that she has actually been talking to the Watcher. Kiara enters the house, but the Watcher immediately knocks her out. She then transforms into Mina's own form and attacks her. She reveals how the professor pretended to befriend her and then used her for experiments. When he attempted to get rid of her, she had no choice but to kill him. The Watcher says that Mina will also betray her, just as the professor did, since it is in the nature of humans. I'm lost. Is anyone else lost? However, Mina pleads with her not to hurt her and reveals her status as a halfling. She explains to the Watcher that she can walk freely in daylight because she's half human. Mina begs the Watcher to let go of her hatred for humans, reminding her of how she protected them from the other monsters in the forest. She tells her that despite all the evilness, there is still humanity within. Mina is also hopeful that there are other halflings like her and urges her to seek them out so she won't feel lonely. Hearing this, the Watcher is speechless and deeply emotional. She then miraculously regains her wings and the magic that was once taken from her by humans. With her newfound freedom, she takes off to find the other halflings around the world. In the final scene, Mina reunites with her sister Lucy after years of estrangement. This means that she has finally let go of her guilt and decided to move on in life. Mina shares with Lucy what she experienced in the forest. She reveals that she still believes the Watcher is protecting her like a guardian angel. The movie then ends with a little girl watching Mina's house from the street, who is actually the Watcher in another form. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like.
One more, then probably gonna go to bed. Movie is Van Diesel.
Mystery recapped here.
Watch
Today,
it.
I'm going to explain an action sci-fi movie called Bloodshot. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie opens in Mombasa, Kenya, where we see a U.S. military officer, Ray Garrison. He is on a solo mission to rescue a hostage from a terrorist group that has already killed 4 of his comrades. Ray then storms into the building and eliminates the terrorists one by one, but he soon comes across the final boss, who is holding one of his comrades hostage. Ray drops his weapon and starts negotiating with the terrorist. The latter demands a helicopter to escape, to which Ray pretends to agree. But when the terrorist proceeds to bring out his phone, Ray quickly grabs his gun and shoots him dead. After completing his mission successfully, he returns home to his wife, Gina. They are overjoyed to meet after a long time apart, and they hug each other. The couple then goes on vacation to an Italian coastal town where they make many wonderful memories. At night, after they finish having coitus, Gina sees several battle scars on his body and becomes very worried. However, Ray assures her that despite all the wounds, he will always come home to her. The next morning when Ray wakes up, he doesn't see Gina anywhere. He finds a note instead claiming that she went outside to get some breakfast. Ray doesn't think much of it and proceeds to get ready for the day. But shortly after, two unknown people break into his room and attack him. Ray easily defeats both of them and rushes out in search of his wife. Outside his door, he bumps into a British man and apologizes. But moments later, Ray stumbles and falls to the ground, feeling dizzy. The British man comes to check on him, asking if he needs help. However, he soon changes his demeanor and injects Ray with a sedative. Tough luck, old bean. In the following scene, Ray awakens tied to a chair and notices the same British man dancing in front of him. He introduces himself as Martin Axe and asks who tipped him off about the situation in Mombasa. Ray responds that he doesn't know and that it's just his job to follow orders. Martin realizes he won't cooperate easily, so he brings in a tied-up Gina and threatens to murder her. Ray begs him to let her go because she has nothing to do with this, but Martin refuses. He asks Ray the same question about Mombasa again, but the latter still can't answer it. As a result, Martin eventually shoots Gina with a nail gun, killing her mercilessly. The sight devastates Ray and he begins screaming at the top of his lungs.
I am Groot!
He warns Martin that he made a grave mistake and that no matter where he goes, he will find him. Martin thanks him for the heads up, but then shoots Ray in the head, killing him. Sometime later, we see Ray waking up in a laboratory. As he looks around the place in confusion, a man named Emil Hartig approaches him. Hartig states that he is the director of a company called RST, which stands for Rising Spirit Technology, but sounds like a bullshit extra charge on your bill. A woman named KT also arrives, informing Ray that he had died and the military donated his body to RST. She claims that Ray has no family because the military only gives away the bodies of unclaimed soldiers. It turns out RST was able to bring the dead Ray back to life using their technology. Following this, Harting explains that RST has been running several experiments to restore the military's critical assets. These include creating skeletal structures for agile and strong bodies, as well as strengthening the nervous system to improve reactions. While RST has created several groundbreaking weapons, Ray is the first person they have been able to revive. Strange that they chose his washed-up old ass. Harding goes on to explain that he was revived with the help of nanites, which are biomechanical constructs. The nanites also allow Ray to heal himself after injuries, but they must be recharged regularly. Harting then asks for his name and military rank, but Ray has no recollection of his past. Next, they show Ray around the place and he discovers that they also have rehabilitation areas where ex-soldiers with restored body parts push themselves to their limits. Harting reveals that KT was a Navy swimmer in Syria who was hurt in a chemical attack that damaged her trachea. She now has a new respirator, which has significantly improved her breathing. They then introduce Jimmy, a former Navy officer who lost both legs in a bombing in Afghanistan, but now wears prosthetic legs. Next is a man named Tibbs, who is a marksman in Iraq. He has lost his vision, but it has been restored with advanced eye implants. Later that night, Ray wakes up from his sleep and decides to explore the facility. He punches a pillar, but instead of him getting injured, the pillar cracks. Why did he try that? Ray is overjoyed when he realizes that he has superhuman strength. Later, he comes across KT, who is training underwater. She soon comes out of the pool, and Ray tells her that he had a nightmare, but KT responds that it is impossible because he has no memories. That's not how dreams work. After this, she invites him for a drink, to which he agrees. They share shots while listening to music, but after the first sip, Ray begins to recall his time in Mombasa. He finally remembers his relationship with Gina and how Martin Axe killed her. Consumed by rage, he vows to find the villain and kill him. Following this, Ray leaves the facility and uses advanced nanites to track Martin's location in Hungary. Meanwhile, Harting communicates with him via microprocessors in his brain, warning him not to go there. He tells Ray that he now belongs to him, but the latter doesn't think so. Our hero then steals a plane from RST and learns how to fly it from a manual he finds on the internet. Shortly after, Ray reaches Hungary and corners Martin and his armed men in a tunnel. For some reason, Martin isn't shocked to see the person he killed suddenly alive, but he's certainly terrified, so he orders his men to finish him off. Ray easily manages to defeat them and despite being shot several times, his wounds heal in seconds. After killing everyone, he confronts Martin, who immediately starts pleading for his life. He claims that Harding is manipulating him, but he can help. However, Ray refuses to listen and brutally shoots him to death, completing his revenge.
I call that a bloodshot.
In the morning, Ray drives to a location where KT, Jimmy, and Tibbs are waiting for him. He tells them that it wasn't necessary to pursue him because he would have returned to the facility anyway. It is revealed that his nanites have low energy because his body was repaired many times during the earlier fight. Later that night, while Ray is recharging his energy, Jimmy suddenly shows up. It seems that during the recharge process, Ray is unable to move or speak. Taking advantage of this, Jimmy mocks him for being foolish enough to believe that Gina is actually dead. The revelation shocks Ray, but he soon falls unconscious. At this point, we discover that Harding has been using Ray as a puppet to kill his enemies. He has planted false memories in Ray's mind. With the help of his programmer Eric, it turns out that everything we saw at the beginning of the movie was just a simulation designed to trick Ray. In reality, Martin had never met Ray or killed his wife. Martin is not even the first victim, as Ray has assassinated numerous people under the same guise. These targets were former RST scientists who had left the company for some reason. After Ray falls unconscious, Eric begins resetting his memories and altering his recollection of Gina's death. He replaces Martin's face with that of another man called Barris. KT finds the whole situation disturbing and asks Harding to stop. However, he instructs her to mind her own business and concentrate on her job. He threatens to turn off her enhancements if she dares to interfere again. Sometime later, the rebooted Ray wakes up in a confused state again. Harding and KT introduce themselves and show him around the facility just like before. Later that night, while KT and Ray are drinking again, he recalls Gina's death and recognizes Barris as her killer. Ray then steals a plane from the facility to get the job done. Harding pretends to stop him as usual, but a vengeful Ray refuses to listen. Shortly after, Ray learns that his target is in England and heads there. He soon breaks into Barris's mansion and begins killing his men one by one. Meanwhile, Eric hacks into the mansion's CCTV cameras, allowing them to see what's going on. He discovers that Barris has hired Wiggins, a brilliant programmer who is developing an EMP device to use against Ray. It is revealed that this device emits an electromagnetic pulse capable of destroying all of the nanites repairing Ray's body. However, before the device can be activated, it must be charged to 100% capacity. Harding realizes the situation is too dangerous and orders Ray to leave. However, the latter ignores the warning and mutes him. Before the EMP is fully charged, Ray enters Barris's room and begins accusing him of murdering his wife. The man is confused and denies killing anyone, but Ray shoots him to death.
I call that a bloodshot.
He says again, thinking it's the first time. Moments later, someone activates the EMP, causing his nanites to stop functioning. Ray immediately collapses to the ground and RST loses all access to him. In the following scene, he awakens to a powerful electric charge and sees Wiggins in front of him. Ray assumes that he's in danger, but Wiggins clarifies that he doesn't care about Barris's death and was only forced to work for him. He actually wants to help Ray and asks about his motive for killing Barris. Ray explains his wife's death, but admits that he has been seeing different faces of her murderer. Upon hearing this, Wiggins quickly deduces what RST is up to. He reveals that there were rumors of people who left RST being killed one after the other, with the method appearing to be personal revenge. He then informs Ray that his memory is being manipulated and that RST is using him as a toy to kill people. The revelation leaves Ray shocked, and he assumes that Gina must still be alive. He decides to look for her, but Wiggins is concerned that if he leaves, Harding will again erase his memories and frame him as the murderer. Ray assures him that this won't happen, even though he has no reason to assure him of that, and gives him a sample of his nanite-infused blood for inspection. After some time, Ray tracks down Gina's location and goes to see her. She is delighted to see him after so long, and they warmly hug each other. However, when he reveals that he has returned home to be with her, she is perplexed. Gina informs him that it has been 5 years since they last saw each other and that they parted ways on mutual terms. Furthermore, she is already remarried and has 2 children. Upon hearing this, Ray is devastated and leaves without saying a word. While he is driving, he is suddenly struck by an armored vehicle. Turns out Jimmy and Tib have tracked him down and are now pursuing him. They relentlessly chase Ray through the city, and Jimmy's prosthetic legs are destroyed when a truck collides with his vehicle. Moments later, Tibbs shoots Ray with a bullet capable of disabling the nanites, causing him to lose consciousness. In the next scene, Ray is once again brought back to the lab. Harting then orders KT to go after Wiggins, but she refuses to do so. This enrages Harting so much that he turns off her respirator, causing her to struggle to breathe. With no other options, KT finally agrees to do the job. We later see her approaching Wiggins on the road, asking him to light her cigarette. He nonchalantly agrees, but as soon as he inhales the fumes from the cigarette, he is knocked out cold. Sometime later, Harting places Ray in a simulation and prepares to erase his memory again. But at this moment, KT returns and lies to him, saying Wiggins got away. It is revealed that she has secretly joined forces with Wiggins, who is currently hacking into the RST system. Shortly after, Ray's reset process begins, but KT enters the control room and disables the system. When Harting learns about this, he attempts to kill her by turning off her respirator, but Wiggins has already disabled the access to her implant, so she can no longer be hurt. At this moment, Ray also awakens and starts wreaking havoc in the facility by throwing grenades. This forces Harting to rush to safety, but not before ordering Jimmy and Tibbs to handle the situation. Jimmy then attaches robotic arms to his back, and the two of them go after Ray. However, even their combined forces are no match for Ray, who seems overpowered. The three fight near an elevator until the structure begins to crumble. Tibbs soon falls to his death while screaming for help, but Jimmy doesn't care. He is determined to destroy Ray, and the two men begin fighting with all their might. The elevator eventually collapses, causing them to fall from the building. Jimmy dies from the impact, while Ray recovers quickly due to his nanites. Aware that his plan has failed, Harting tries to escape in his car, but Ray catches up to him. The evil scientist then fires several grenades at him, causing significant damage, but Ray recovers each time due to his nanites. Harting then warns him that when his nanites reach zero, he will die. Moments later, Ray ends up catching the final grenade, and the two begin tussling with each other. In the end, our hero sacrifices himself by blowing up the grenade between him and Harting, killing them both. In the final scene, Ray unexpectedly awakens to find Wiggins in front of him. It turns out Wiggins had revived him and improved the nanite's stamina. This means that he no longer needs to charge them all the time like before. Science. Ray thanks him and heads outside, where he meets KT. She apologizes for lying to him and keeping Harting's plans a secret, but he doesn't seem to care about that anymore. Ray explains that while they cannot change their past, they have control over their future. The movie ends with the trio driving into the sunset in search of a new life. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications.